And we're live. Too early. Oh crap, I gotta turn this down. Turn the music down, and I gotta go live here. So I believe we are now live two places. What's up, everybody? What's up, world? I hope you are doing well. My name is Justin Glover, and I have a question for you. And that question is, do you have trouble staying consistent with things? Do you have trouble following through? All right, if so, thanks so much for tuning into this session, because I've got 4 tips for you that will absolutely help with this. 4 tips for remaining consistent in business. So as you come on, let me know where you're tuning in from and what is some good news happening in your world. I kind of feel like Oprah. I've given out more prizes in the last 24 hours than I have in a long time. Like, you get a prize and you get a prize, and I'm just giving them away like hourly, it seems. And the next day and a half, or the next day until tomorrow night, it's not going to slow up. I'm actually going to be giving out more and more stuff. So that's actually good. I like it, though. It feels good. And we're launching a brand new community. We just launched a brand new community 2 days ago. Not even 2 days ago. We're giving away lots and lots of goodies in there. Prizes damn near every hour. We're going to give away lots more prizes tomorrow. And so if you're somebody who's interested in creating more freedom for yourself in your life, then you're also invited to join us in this community. I'll share more about how to do that towards the end of this live stream, which I'm going to try to keep short and keep it petite in under 20 minutes. All right, so that's the goal here. This is one of those topics, being more consistent. This is a topic that we talk a lot more about. We will be talking a lot more about in the Creative Freedom group for sure. So if you dig this type of stuff, you're really going to dig the stuff that we pump into this group. And by the way, this group isn't going to remain forever open to anybody that wants to join. There will be periods of time when we let people in. It's what we're doing now. But beyond that, this is a reserved group for our paying customers and clients. So there you go. All right. I'll give you a kind of a side note business tip. If you give your prospects a sneak peek at what it's like to be a paying customer, all right, before they actually pay, it will increase the chances of them buying something from you in the future, all right? Not that group is all about selling you a lot of shit either. That's not what that's there for. It's not the way we roll, all right? So let's see who is here before we get into today's session. As you come on, if you haven't done so yet, even if you're catching the replay, drop me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what's your good news for today. Let's fill some positivity up here in the comments before we dive in. Some additional good news for myself, other than the good news I've already told you about. I'm still receiving really great feedback on a training that I did 2 nights ago, and that's always a good feeling. It's always a great feeling whenever you get people saying, man, it blew my mind. It transformed the way that I think about things, and it gave me that extra clarity. It feels good to have that. That's why we do this kind of stuff, and so that's my good news. All right, that is my good news, and I'm pumped. Just keep the good news, keep the good comments coming. I love them. And so let's see who we got here. Cindy is in the house. Cindy is cleaning up on prizes in the group. I tell you that. Dean's in the house. Brent Faison, what is up, my dude? I haven't seen you in a minute. Let's connect for sure. Larry McMillan's in the house. What's up, my friend? Margie is here. Elena has joined the party. Larry Crisp is here. What's up, guys? So I appreciate each and every one of you. Congrats to everybody that's been winning prizes over the last couple of days. To get in the giveaway, and we're going to get right into this content on how to be more consistent. But to get in the giveaway action, you just follow 3 simple steps. I'm going to give you these really quick. All right. Number 1, join the group at creativefreedom.group. Not creativefreedom.com, creativefreedom.group. That'll redirect you to our Facebook group. That's where you can join. All right. Step 2. Watch the recording of the Thursday night's training. All right, we did a mind map of our business model, walked through the entire thing. Watch that, follow the instructions, and then you're into the prizes. All right, very, very simple. 2 steps, actually. The winners are announced periodically between now and tomorrow night. I'm giving shit away all the time. I've given away cash already. We've given away lots of stuff. I'll talk more about that later. All right, let's get into the content for now. So what's up, everybody? Good to have you guys here. Let's go. So 4 tips for remaining consistent in business. Now, these tips will help you remain consistent anywhere, even if it's not a business related thing. But I'm going to keep them business specific for this go around, all right, for this video. So step one, or tip one, right? 1 of 4, get clear on your vision and focus on what's important as opposed to what's urgent. All right. Now remember, it's easy to quit whenever you don't know what you're working towards. I talked about this the other day on a live. And vision is key for focus. Okay. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know what things are truly priority in your life, what things are truly important, then you're going to focus on the wrong stuff. And so this is a kind of a 1-2 combination right out of the gate. Get clear on your vision. All right. Know where you want to go. But then also in conjunction with that, focus on the things that are truly important within that vision, as opposed to focusing on the things that just feel urgent. All right. What feels urgent? Email inboxes oftentimes feel urgent. I heard one time the email inbox is like everybody else's agenda for you. And I don't disagree. So a big problem that managers face in kind of a manager situation is focusing on putting out the urgent fires, all right, rather than what's actually important to the business overall. When I say manager, this could be a manager at a job or like an employee status, or it could also be an entrepreneur, a business owner who's taking the management role. All right, we have different roles within our business as business owners, and so it kind of depends. All right, but that's a big problem, right? And so I was reading an article earlier this morning that recommended that leaders actually plan only 65% of their day in detail. Don't go out and plan 100%. All right, plan only 65% and use the other 35% to handle the unexpected things that come up. All right, that was the suggestion that this article was giving me. Now, one of the quotes that I actually wrote down, one of the quotes, if you're reacting, you're not planning for the future. And that's absolutely true. If you are reacting, then that means that you're not planning for the future. Extraordinary results, they can only be achieved when you're super clear about what matters most. Period. End of story. All right. Now the article says 65%. Me personally, I've always tried to plan around 70% and allow 30% for the unexpected. Now, I've not always done this. I firmly believed that it was of my best interest, and I was capable of planning 100% of my day, every day, planning out the perfect day, minute by minute, and just accomplishing it every freaking day. I believed that, and I strived for that. And I got close. I got well over 70% many days. But it sucked, man. It was not fun. It was not fun. And so I learned that lesson the hard way. And so now personally, I plan about 70% of my day. And then I'm flexible the other 30%. I always have flexible time in my schedule. That's the kind of business that I want to build. That's the kind of life I want to have for myself. If something comes up last minute, I want the flexibility in my schedule to make it happen. And so that's kind of the reason that I do it. However, what I found, just because of doing that, it's really great because unexpected stuff comes up also. And I'm like, I find myself often saying, man, I'm glad that I had this free time today. Or I'm glad this particular time block wasn't dedicated, because I don't know what I would do if I was committed to something else. That's happened many, many times. All right, so that's tip one. That's tip one. All right, get clear on the vision and also focus on what's important as opposed to focusing on what feels urgent. All right, you guys getting value so far? Jose, what is up, my friend? Sherry, I see you in the house. What's up? What's up? David is in the house. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's go. Okay, so tip number 2, communicate your goals to your team and to others. All right. Everybody on the team has to know your business goals. Okay. Otherwise, you're bowling through a curtain. That's the analogy I heard in this article. All right. It's like bowling through a curtain. Imagine that, right? You can't hit a target that you can't see. And so if employees or partners or your community, if they don't know what your plans for the future are, then they're going to substitute their own plan. Like that's exactly what's going to happen. So remember that leaders should regularly share how the team is progressing towards its goals and make members actually feel appreciated. That's what That's what leaders should do. And so freely give encouragement in terms of how to actually do that. Freely give encouragement, reiterate the problem the team member that the team member is actually solving. All right, reiterate that. All right, give that encouragement. Describe how that they're adding value. Point it out. People don't often realize or know that you appreciate them unless you tell them. And so when you tell them and you point it out and you say, I appreciate that you did that thing specifically, and here's how that added value to my experience. When you do that, whether it's in a work setting or a public setting or a social setting, it doesn't matter. When you do that, that's when you're actually making the biggest difference in your encouraging more of that type of thing. All right. Companies like Southwest Airlines are good at this. In-N-Out Burger, Chick-fil-A, those three off the top of my head, just historically, they're really, really good at retaining employees. And so if you study them for long, it's kind of obvious as to why that is, because they're always encouraging and all that. So anyway, that is tip number 2. Tip number three. Are you guys getting value? Let me know in the comments. Have specific measurable goals that you can update weekly. Have specific measurable goals that you can update weekly. Sherry, that is a very, very weak statement in your comment. Take ownership. Come on. You know it's not that way. Anyway, let's roll. Have specific measurable goals that you update weekly. Here's the deal. Saying that you plan on increasing your gross sales by 6 figures in 1 year, number one, that's both overwhelming, but it's also very vague. All right. Instead, leaders break down the numbers further, all right, to show the team that the goal is actually achievable, to show yourself that the goal is actually achievable. All right. So for example, if you're a restaurant and you want to increase your gross sales by $120,000 in a year, and that means you're making, how much more is that a quarter? 30,000 more a quarter, all right, which is what, $10,000 more a month. And so if there's 56 shifts in every month, then that comes out to $170-ish per shift. Okay. That also means that $18,000 in additional tips for servers, if you kind of do the math that way. And so just by breaking it down that way, you make it more achievable. All right. And so that's kind of that's a good step. And so if you've got employees, when an employee gives a generic, or you got team members, or you got people that you want to set specific goals, but they come back and they give you a generic goal, like, you know, hey, what's your goal? And they say, I just want to be more effective. I want to hire better employees. There's a question that you can ask, and this is, you know, for anybody, there's a question that you can ask to get them to more specificity. All right. From A to B by when? From A to B by when? That's it. What steps need to be taken? All right. When are these steps? How are we going to get there? You ask those questions, and that is what gets the focus to be dialed in. All right. And so having specific goals allows managers to actually make employees accountable, keep them accountable. Team members, that's, you know, the specific goals is where it's at. So if you're not on board with setting specific goals, it can probably help you out. Brenda, I see you here. Brenda Cheryl, what is up? What is up? Glad, nice to see you. And so we got one more final tip for you, and I like this one, I think, the most, and that is get leverage on yourself. And there's multiple ways to do this. You could, I'm just going to give you some examples, and I think you'll know what I mean by getting leverage on yourself. I mean, by increase, so accountability partners is like the main form of leverage that people get. They get accountability, right? We need help staying accountability. I know what I need to do. I know the steps that I need to take. Here's what I'm going to do. But for whatever reason, you don't do it. I need to go get a what? An accountability buddy. And so that's a form of what I call leverage. You're getting leverage on yourself, putting yourself in a circumstance, in a position where you're more likely to do the thing that you want to do. All right. That thing is important to you. You want to make sure you do it. And so what do? We reach out and grab accountability. And so there's other ways to actually add leverage to yourself other than an accountability partner. Accountability partners are amazing. They're great. They're wonderful. I love them. But you could do other stuff, like you can make a bold decision or bold declaration and declare that to to a public audience. You could say, hey, I'm going to be doing this. Right now we're launching a group. We have a I mean, a baby group, just a few people in there. And I made a bold declaration to that group just earlier today. And I started talking about our vision and what we're building. And I'm talking about like an 8-figure vision. And that's a big, bold statement. It's a big, bold declaration. And just putting myself out there in front of a public audience, that's a form of me getting more leverage on myself. I am now more likely to do it. I'm now more inspired. Not that I really need that, because like it's kind of just like I'm pumped about it. But because I did that, I'm less likely to not do the work when I have one of those days when I don't feel like doing the work. You see what I mean? And so that's something else that you could do. You could also sign a big old fat check and give it to somebody, you know, a really large ticket check. Give it to somebody that you trust with permission to cash it by a certain date if XYZ result doesn't happen. You could always do that. You could pay more money. That's a great form of leverage. You know, the more money that you actually pay, if you're paying for trainings or products or services, every single time that you pay for something, think about a product that you've got. It's like a rebill product, right? When you see it rebill, do you not at least for a moment feel a little bit more compelled to go get some value out of that thing? Maybe go watch this month's training, or maybe go, you know, whatever the rebill is, okay? But by paying money, that's a form of leverage, you know. Throwing down money, that's something I do a lot. If I'm working on a specific thing, I'll go buy, you know, products and invest money in myself, you know, for training that's training me to be better at doing that thing. And so then all of a sudden I'm like, it's just another reason I can't quit, right? Another reason that I got to do the work, because I'm paying for the training. And so all of these different things you can just throw together. You can add leverage to yourself. Jeff Hernandez, Joe McKegg, I see you guys. What's up? What's up? Glad to have you here. And so these are all good forms of leverage, right? Every time, like I said, every time you spend money, you're in that moment, you just made a little bit more accountable, all right? Sometimes whenever you see like a rebill, right? You see that rebill, that register hit. In that moment, you're made a little bit more accountable, and sometimes that inspires you to go take an action step, like watch a video or, you know, drink a bottle of water or whatever, that you wouldn't normally do otherwise, okay, if you didn't throw down that money. And so money can absolutely be a form of leverage that we can get on ourselves. And so a quick recap of the tips. All right, quick recap of the tips. These are 4 tips for remaining consistent in business. So first, I said get clear on the vision and focus on what's truly important as opposed to what's urgent. All right, focus on the vision as opposed to what's urgent. Tip number 2 was communicate your goals to your team and to everybody else. All right, communicate your goals to your people. Tip number 3, have specific measurable goals that you update weekly. Okay, update them weekly. Don't let them dry out. And then tip number 4 was to get leverage on yourself in as many ways as you can. And I shared a few ways for you there. All right, so there you go. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, let me know in the comments. And if you like this, you're going to love this type of stuff that we actually train on in our Creative Freedom Facebook group. And so if you're somebody who's wanting to create more freedom in your life, then you got to be in this group. All right. And as for those of you interested in the prizes, here are your 3 steps again. Step 1, join the group. All right, if you want to get in on the giveaway action, we're giving lots of stuff away. Join the group by going to creativefreedom.group. Creativefreedom.com? No, creativefreedom.group. Watch the training of Thursday night's mind map training and just follow the instructions in there. All right, you do that, winners are announced. Like as soon as I hang up here, I'm going to announce some winners. All right, so winners are announced periodically over the next couple of days until tomorrow night. We're also giving away some cash. We gave away some cash earlier today. We're giving away t-shirts, all right? A t-shirt, this t-shirt here, as a matter of fact, I'll show it to you. It says, "The dream is free. The results are sold separately." We've got lots of these that we're giving away. I think we got like 10 or 11 more that we're gonna be giving away between now and tomorrow night. So question, how many of you guys have read this book? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Let me know in the comments who's read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Who's ever heard of it? Okay, you guys heard of this? It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book completely transformed my life. It shifted the way that I think about money, that is the book that took me from working 3 jobs, 100 hours a week, to quitting all 3 of them and growing a business on the internet that has now made for myself and others over, who knows the exact number, but well over $10 million. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is the book that started everything. The stuff that he talked about in this book. Most people don't know. It's a very popular book. Most people don't know. So you guys are chiming in. You've read this. What most people don't know about this book, the reason that he wrote this book, not to sell the book. He didn't care about selling the book. This is the reason he wrote the book, to sell this game. He created the game because he wanted to transform the way people thought about financial education and wanted to completely change how financial education was taught. This game, the more that you play, it's kind of like Monopoly. How many of you ever played this game? How many of you ever heard of this game? The more you play, this is a board game, like a physical board game. Some of you like, those things exist? Physical board game, you play it, it's fun. The more you play it, the richer you become in real life is the real thing. The promise in here, I think, is the more you play it, the higher your financial IQ goes, because that's exactly what it is. It's real world scenario situations of where to put money. And you can be a doctor and win the game, or you could be a janitor who gets paid $30,000 a year, $20,000 a year and win the game. The whole purpose is to get out of what they call the rat race, that place of, and get yourself into that place of financial freedom. And so that game and that book, completely game changers for me. They changed that's what got me on the path. And so I'm giving away this game sometime between now and tomorrow to somebody in the group that's playing our little game. All right. And so again, all you got to do, go into the group, creativefreedom.group. That'll get you there. Watch the recording of Thursday night's replay. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm feeling a little inspired. I'm going to give away this book right now. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm going to give away this book right now in the next few minutes to somebody that's watching this live. The very first person that goes into the group right now, and I'll pull it up over here because I know I'll have people requesting saying, I need access in. I'll let everybody in at the same time. Go request right now. And I'm going to give away this book to the very first person that goes into the Creative Freedom group and posts a comment on the pinned post. It's the announcement post. It says announcement. It used to be called pinned. Facebook changed it. It's now called announcement. You go to creativefreedom.com. No, creativefreedom.group. Go there. Click the join button. I will accept your request over here. And then you find the post at the very top. It's the announcement post. Comment on it, and I want you to say something very specific. All right, you got to say this exactly as I'm about to tell you in the comments of that post. If you don't, the first person that does that wins the book. All right. Now, some of you might already be in the group, and that's fine. But here's the sentence. Okay. First person watching this, and you might be even watching the replay on this. Who knows? Because there's not a ton of people on here. Who knows? People got to watch this, get into the group, and then go and they got to comment it exactly. Here's what you say, and you post a comment. And if it's exact, one of you are going to win this, first person that does it. Here's the quote. The rich dad wrote the book so he could sell the game. I know it doesn't really make sense, but I'll know when I see that comment. I'll say it again. The rich dad wrote the book so he could sell the game. When I see that exact comment, I'm going to actually paste it here in the live stream. Down in the comments. All right, so I just pasted it myself. When I see that comment, the first person that takes that comment and posts it inside of the group, inside of the Creative Freedom group on the pinned post, the 8-figure business model post, first comment I see wins this book. Again, I'll ship it out to you free of charge. I'll cover the shipping, everything. And it completely changed my life. All right, so there you go. Reminder, last chance, no, it's not your last chance. It's the last time I'm telling you what this link is, creativefreedom.group. Watch the recording of Thursday night's mind map training. Follow the instructions. Literally, we've had multiple people say it was a mind-blowing webinar. They used those words. We shared stuff that people don't share. Brand builders just don't share the type of stuff that we went into. We've had people tell us that as well, and we did. We went very deep. And so thanks again for watching. If you're interested in creating some more freedom for yourself, come join the party in the group. We would love to have you. And so go right now if you want this book. First person to comment the comment that I just said, I'm not going to say it again because I also typed it in. First person to do it over in the group wins this book. I'll ship it out to you. And I'm going to be approving all comments right now. Okay, all comments are being approved right now. By the way, if you're watching the replay, come join anyway. It's not, you know, loads more value in there other than just the free book. So thanks again so much for your time. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have an amazing night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.